This is Kitzur Yomi as we continue learning Siman Lamed Dalid, the halachas of tzedakah. We pick it up. We'll be concluding Siman Lamed Dalid today as we pick it up from Sif Yod Dalid. It says the Kitzur B'Yosef Shichon Lashkiach. More, we have to be attentive to what Al Talmid Chacham Ani. Number one is whom? A Talmid Chacham who is an ani. Actually, I think we did start do business with him. And if this Talmid Chacham knows how to do business, give him money to do business with. Anyone who gives merchandise to Talmid Chacham, a fascinating line. All the Nevi'im were only nisnaveh, only prophesied about what to do reward to do business. For Talmid Chacham, Masa Bitul Talmid Chacham. So we see that even greater than tzedakah is to do business, is to put someone on their feet. We continue with Sifta as well. One should distance himself from accepting sukkah. One should allow himself to be bitzar. It's better to be in pain than not to need other people. Even if one is a respected Talmid Chacham and he became poor, it's better to do an omnes minuveles, and even to do a repulsive omnes. We see how important it is for one to be on his own 2 feet. We continue with Sifte Zayin, Kol Mi She'ino Tzarech Lital Me'atztako Merames Abriyos V'Noitel, a scary line. Anyone who doesn't eat tzedakah, and he tricks people into allowing him to take tzedakah. Einoi meis achi tzarech lebriyos. Rav Machman al Hashem says, you wanted tzedakah? Guess what? I'll make you need tzedakah. And he's not going to be nifter until he needs and he becomes dependent on other people. Anyone who needs to take tzedakah, and he can't live unless he takes, and the opposite, he says, no, I'll be okay and I won't take. He's a sheikh, he's a murderer, he's killing himself. And he doesn't have any merit from his sar, only sins and transgressions. Who needs to take, and he pains himself, and he pushes and he lives a life of tsar. Why? He said you will not die until he has the means to support others. An incredible avtacha. So it's greater, we're seeing, to push oneself, not to collect tzedakah, in order that he's able to be able to live on his own 2 feet. And we continue learning Siman Lamed Hey, the halachas of challah. A little bit of a favorite topic of mine, and I invite anyone who would like a copy of the sefer that I wrote on challah and halachas neiros, please reach out, shoot me an email, a text message, a WhatsApp, and we'll try our best to get you a copy of that sefer challah and halachas neiros distributed by Feldheim. But let's go, says the Kitzur Sifalv. We're going to go right now all the way through Sif Zayin. From the 5 types of grain, chayav is b'challah, it's obligated challah, which means to be mafresh, to set aside a piece of challah. Kodim shavish challah mevarchim. What do? You make a brach. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam sheikh shem son lafresh challah. V'dalik zayis b'nei and he takes zayis of dough, v'sarvin asar be'esh, and you burn it. V'aminig l'sarvin tanu shefes l'vos lechem, and the minhag is to burn in the fire that they bake the bread. Now, this is an important detail. First of all, note number 5 points out that really you could do even the smallest amount, but the minhag is to do it because you grab a little bit. That's number 1. Number 2 over here, note number 6 points out that the Raman Yeridea says that you throw it in the oven. But one has to be careful, and really the note here points this out, that the challah, the piece that you separate from the dough, is a din that it is not kosher. And therefore you have to be very, very careful that it has to be fully wrapped. Very careful, it's not going to touch anything, because if you just, and this is unfortunately, people know this halacha, so they take this piece of challah dough and they just put it in their oven, and then this piece of dough opens up and it falls onto the grate, and then it actually could cause your grate to be treif. The reason is that the separated piece of dough is a din of Isser, that you're not allowed to eat it. And we go to Sif Beis Kamashir Isa. What is the share of the dough? Is Chayiv Achalak, Kushanasa B'Chamishas Revayim Kamach, 5 Revayim of flour, Vehim Kumayim Gul Beitim Chamish Beitim, 43 and a fifth eggs, which we generally paskin, this is what we get, 5 pounds of flour. Continues the Kitzur Sif Gimel HaMatzah Shoyfen LePesach Matzah for Pesach Aval Pisha B'chol Isa B'fnei Atzma Lo Yaya Shir Chala. Each dough, you make little doughs. So each dough does not have the Chiyav of Chala. Mikol Makom Kivin Shemanichen since you place them into one vessel like Kli Mitzarfan, the Kli combines them. And then you're going to be obligated to take off chalos. You want to have all the matzahs together and one kli. Even though they're coming out, if you have large matzahs on top of the kli and a mitzarfus, then loy mahani, that would not help. The matzahs are all in one big sheet. You have a sheet wrapped around the whole matzah. Then it's like one big kli. Even if the middle they are revealed, so you don't want to have one full matzah outside of it. And this is going to be tzir of sal, that if you have small doughs, you're going to want to put them together into one chiyav challah. Says the Kitzur Sif Dalet is sour dough that is taken from the dough to make another dough. This is what we'd call a starter dough, which is fascinating. That the introduction over here, the artful instruction says in the Kitzur's times, they will leave a portion unbaked. It became very sour, and this is known as sourdough or starter dough. And it would be a leavening agent for another dough. This is mamish sourdough. This is what everyone is busy with, and that's the starter. So it's back in style. So if you have the starter to make another dough, you have to take challah of the dough. You have to take challah. You must be taken one more time. Must be taken before the challah of the dough is taken from it, set aside. Aval, sa'ar, little chametz, mashkish karam borscht. If you're putting some fermented dough into a drink, so you do it afterwards. You purchase sourdough from a guy to use as leavening agent. You have to take a more challah than the size of the dough. Again, we're just going to move on. That's the most halacha. Cooking or frying. Then mafrishin mimena challah b'lei bracha. If you're going to bake it a little bit, if you have removed mafrishin mimena challah b'bracha. This, of course, is going to be the big complication with donuts. Are donuts fried? Are they not fried? This is why, in general, most donuts are going to be end up taking of challah without a bracha. And finally, if the dough is not made with water, eggs or other fruit juices, you should mix it. A little bit of water, and this, of course, any big baker, even though there might not be any water inside the dough, they're going to put a dot of water inside in order to get a chiyuv challah, and then you'll be able to take a challah with a bracha. Pick it up from Sif Ches B'siyata Dishmaya.